I'm Jackie Wicks. I'm co-founder of PEERtrainer, and today we are in my kitchen because I discovered how to make vegetable soup taste good, and the soup can last for an entire day and a half for my husband and I, which is great, but also it only takes 15 minutes. And I have a thing, or if something takes me more than 15 minutes, I don't care how healthy it is, I'm not going to do it. I want food to fit into my life that tastes good, not have my whole entire life revolving around cooking. Just because I have too much going on, too much to do. So what I just did, this is a huge this is a huge pot. I put in 3 bushels of broccoli. I didn't even need to cut it up. Put in carrots, about a half a bag of frozen spinach, and some mushrooms. And the reason I didn't have to cut it up is because I'm going to use one of these things called a Smart Stick blender. So this is what makes my vichyssoise, and I have to say this is the secret to making it taste good. So I just put it in there, I put on the heat, and now I am going to put in all my chicken broth.
It's a whole, when you say all your chicken broth, how much is that?
It's a large 32 ounces, a full quart.
And what's the brand?
This is happens to be free range chicken broth. And the reason that I get this, you can get vegetable broth, tastes good too. The reason that I get this is because my husband has an intolerance to wheat. Anything that has to do with wheat and dairy.
Show me the box.
Anything that has to do with wheat and dairy. And this specifically, it's Pacific Natural Foods. You can get it in a regular grocery store, and it specifically says gluten-free. So I just put in a whole thing, and it actually is not enough because I have put so much vegetables in here this time. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in. And look how easy this is. Of course, I could make my own homemade broth, but again, I pick my battles when it comes to eating healthy. I take a lot of shortcuts on things that I believe I can. So over here, you don't have to do this step, but I kind of like it because it tastes a little bit better. I just put an onion in a little bit of olive oil, and I am just heating it up, just sauteing the onions a little bit. And then I have about 5 cloves, I do about a handful of garlic cloves. And again, I got this at my local grocery. It's $1. And for me to have my garlic cloves already cut up so that I can just throw them in, already peeled, is such a time saver. And again, I support this local produce grocery down the street. The prices are great. I love them, and obviously it benefits to get local produce. You do not need one of these at all. I happen to have one because somebody bought me one for a present. But you can just get one of those regular garlic presses. Just take a couple more minutes.
But this is the thing. What's it called? A Cuisinart Smart Stick
Blender. Now
ballpark. How much does this cost?
That costs $3.29 because it's organic and because it's gluten free. If you do not have a gluten intolerance in your family, and again, they have so much of this broth. It doesn't matter, it just doesn't specifically say gluten-free, but it doesn't really have wheat in it. It has the tiniest bit of wheat in the other ones. But for my family, I like to do that. Now, if you don't have that kind of things, you can get a chicken broth and everybody knows this, for less than $2. So you don't have to go with
There are no calories in here. It's like 10 calories a serving.
Yes, but it's a little bit high on the sodium side. Of course, that makes it taste a little bit
And
better.
ballpark, how much did this pot of veggies cost?
Well, because I, again, shopped at my local produce, now again, that takes time. And if you don't have time to do that, don't use, these excuses that you have to go to these local places just because I'm saying it. I happen to have the time this morning. There are many times I won't go. And so for me, it costs so little because I went to the local place. This whole entire pot of vegetables, would you believe, only costs about $3.
Really?
So,
so you're talking about today's worth of meals
my phone's ringing, and my daughter happens to be sick today at school, so I want to make sure. Again, see, this is just real life. You don't want to. Life happens, and you can't make your entire life revolve around food. And if my daughter's sick, I'm going to have to go pick her up. And I couldn't invest in something that was going to take me more than 15 minutes to cook if I have other things to do. So this entire pot of veggies actually only cost me $3.
And
Now check out this pot of veggies.
Right.
The entire
And again,
pot.
what do you have in there, just to recap?
I have
Mushrooms?
I have mushrooms,
Carrots?
3 stalks of broccoli, many carrots, and a frozen package of spinach.
Right.
And so now I'm just, again, sauteing the onions, and it's taking too long. And it's annoying if it's taking too long because, I don't know, it's maybe taking a couple
So
minutes.
it's 12:16. Now, how long is this pot of stuff going to cook for, the veggies?
It's really just going to cook for, you have to bring it to a boil, and then you put it on simmer, and it's like 10, 15 minutes. But I can walk away. This
Right.
isn't 10 or 15 minutes. Probably the whole thing is going to take me about 25 minutes, but it's only 15 minutes that I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then I can just come back and have a cup of soup.
Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop this video and then start it back up again when you're ready to push up the soup.
Great.
All right?